Hi, welcome, greetings from Irvine. This is this video I'm making on request. My dogs are finding a place to settle down. We're here, Ollie, there you go, settle down, take it easy. Rudy, there you go. We're here at the courtyard of some interesting places. That's the Mazda North American headquarters right there. Well, among other things, got the big building there. There's the headquarters of BlackBerry, Silence, and other companies. And I'm here in this nice grassy area where I take my boys to walk. We're going to go walk through the mall there, safely, of course. But before I do that, I thought I'd make a vlog. What you see? This one is on request. Let's see, I'll put that there. This one is on special request. So I was asked in comments to make a vlog about a job interview. So I was trying to think of the title, and I decided to be a little bold, and I gave it the title, a very bold title, I think, of Nailing a Job Interview. And I think I can do that because I believe that I might be qualified to say that. And the only reason being is that, hi dog, I have managed to get every job I've ever interviewed for. I haven't got every job that I've ever applied for. I have had a lot of no callbacks, but every job that I've ever managed to get into an interview for, I have managed to land. So I think I'm prepared to answer the question that one of you asked me. Sorry, I tried to find it. I went to try to find the person that asked it so I could say you by name, but it was in one of the videos there. How to nail a job. I'm going to say it in three basic things. Okay. The first thing, of course, let's not talk about resume, because the very fact that you've been invited to an interview means that you got through the resume process. That means your resume is clear and crisp enough that it got through the system, especially if it's a big organization that has electronic filters. The HR department, actually, a human being won't even see it unless it's got the appropriate keywords. You've done it, and I've managed to get through that as well. So there is something to, if you know it's a big organization, there is something to peppering your resume, not dishonestly, but honestly, with the keywords that might make you stand above your resume, stick out among the others. But once you've gotten that summons, so to speak, to come for an interview, there are three things that I like to do. The first thing is I want to know the company. So very easy thing to do now, simply Google that company, Google that organization, but not so that I know the company so much as I'm trying to understand the problems that they're solving, the market that they're in, and namely the problems that they're trying to solve. It really always comes back to that, because people get hired to solve problems and to help solve problems. So I might ask myself, okay, particularly the type of position that I'm going after. I'll use myself. I'm a project manager. As a project manager, if I'm hiring for a company, I'll take my last job. I have applied for the project management position at the city of Ventura here in California. I went onto their website, the city's website, and I began looking through the website for software interface, hints of software interfaces, where they might have applications that they're using that would require IT, back-end support. And I jotted down and made a note of the different applications that I could see. You could see perhaps there's a financial software somewhere in there, right? Maybe with a little luck, and a lot of public records, especially with public organizations, the records are public, right? So you can actually find out through administrative reports, staff reports, city council meeting minutes. If you want to dig really deep, what kind of things they've got going on. Sometimes you can just ask, right? But let's use myself again for the example. If I'm going for an IT position with a public sector organization, I can usually come up with a short list of the applications that they're using. If I'm not familiar with them, I can brush up on them. And now I'm armed for the interview with some basic understanding of the applications they may have. Digging a little deeper, you might be able to find out which of these applications are legacy and maybe due for an overhaul. And that might make you in a good position to be able to speak to the problem. It comes back to the problem that you might be challenge task to solve. Think how good that is if you come to the meeting armed to talk about why you're the right person to solve the problems that they're currently handling. Now, if it's not an IT thing, maybe it's something else, so be it. You can usually kind of do a little research and find it out. So learn about the company, learn maybe about the business model that they have and what problems they might need your help to fix. That's step one. Step two is to learn a little bit about the people who may be interviewing you. Depending upon your level. For example, if you're going for a staff position, maybe again to use technology, an analyst role or a software programmer or something like that, or a database administrator or something, then you're probably going to want to know about you want to know two things. You want to know one thing, and then you want to be able to communicate another thing. The one thing you want to know is a little bit about the work environment that they have. And there's websites like Glassdoor. Glassdoor is a good way to get an idea about the company culture. So once you know a little bit about the company culture, you can maybe you can find out if you even want to go in for the interview, right? Maybe it's not a place you want to work at all. Or maybe it is a place you do want to work, and the Glassdoor feedback that you get will help you to understand the way that people work there, and if you want to work there, how you can communicate that you'd be a good fit for that. The second part of that is, if you're going for for lack of a better term, a worker bee role, and what I mean by that simply is that you're someone who's given work and you do that work, rather than a supervisor or manager or executive who is tasked with greater responsibilities and even tasked with, here's a problem, solve that problem, use the staff to solve the problem. If you're going for more of an end position, right? You're someone that is a subordinate that has people above you. If that's the case, you want to communicate your effectiveness in that role. For example, when I first came back to the United States, I got a job as a business systems analyst too. I was a worker bee. I was basically a part of a staff that reported to a supervisor who reported to a manager. When I interviewed for that meeting, I wanted to communicate and I knew that was what I was going for, of course. I communicated to the supervisor how I can be an effective team player. It sounds cliche, but it really is an important thing. And how I can take instruction and utilize that utilize it in a constructive way to improve myself. And I came to the interview ready to cite some anecdotes of examples of how in the past I may have kind of missed the mark, and then I was given some instruction on how I improved myself to make myself into a better team player and a better person that was doing my tasks. So there's two things there. If you're going to go for more of a staff position, understand the staff culture, and then understand how you can be an effective member of that staff culture, however that culture may be. On the other hand, if you're going for a supervisor, manager, or joy of joy, an executive position, although I don't know why anybody wants that position. That's a different class of human being, right? I mean, they really got to love that 24/7. But if you're going for those roles, then you also want to know about the culture of the company, but more in terms of how they might tackle their challenges from a managerial perspective. It's a little harder to figure that out, but with a little effort, you might be able to find something out. Glassdoor, again, might be a good resource there. But more importantly, if you're going for that role, I made this mistake. I've made this mistake in the past of going into a management interview, selling myself as a staff, for a staff position, right? It's not what they want. When you're going for a supervisor or management role, they're not going to be giving you a job. They're not going to say, okay, here's a task that you're going to do this from 9 to 5 every day. They're going to give you a problem to solve, or an application to own, or some product line that you're going to be administering or running in some capacity. You want to talk about how you are the right person to accept a basket full of responsibility and own that responsibility and work with a team that will be your subordinates to achieve a particular end. And you can tell stories and anecdotes about how you've done that in the past. And even if you haven't done that in the past, maybe you're coming from that staff position. This is your first stab at supervisory or managerial role. Then you can speak to how you've done it in your own life, maybe with your own interests or your groups or whatever. Basically taking on a leadership role, owning responsibility and being able to be accountable to it and be able to communicate status reports to the higher up. That being able to have that communication chain is a key thing there. So there you go. So we've talked about two things so far. One is knowing the company and their business model, and knowing the role that you're after, and being able to communicate how you're the right person for that particular role. Now the third element, hold on, Rudy, Ollie, come here. Come here, buddy, come here. Come here. Oh, now the dog distracted me. Just a moment, let me get that back. We've got the company, the culture. Right. Okay. Preparing for the actual interview itself, right? So preparing for the interview itself means that when you're ready to go to the interview, you want to go in with the aforementioned knowledge in hand. You understand the company, you understand their needs, and you want to be able to listen carefully to what you're being told, to ask pointed questions to elicit from the interviewers what it is that's keeping them up at night, or their superiors that have charged them to hire somebody like you. What's keeping them up at night? What is it that's driving the organization to want to bring you on board? Sometimes it's not really about necessarily listing off a bunch of skills that you might have. It's more or less about identifying the need and how you can help with that need. The way I like to say it is identifying what's keeping people awake at night, right? Because that's what they're really after in the long run. All of us are after a little help to make life a little better, a little easier, take off some of the edge of the stress and the anxiety of getting by. And when you're an organization like this building behind me here, chock full of people that are striving towards a particular end, they want somebody who can help them to, put their shoulder against the cart and push forward. Especially someone that has the means and the motivation to do so on their own. So when I'm interview like that, when I'm talking to the people, I ask pointed questions to try and elicit from them, why are you hiring? Why are you looking to hire? Why this position? What goal, what problem are you trying to solve with this job that you want? And as they're starting to give me clues, I then look back to my background and my skills and my motivation, and try to show them how I'm the right guy for that job. And I'm also very honest, right? Where I don't have those skills, I'll be very clear and point that out, and indicate how I can find ways to gain those skills. Sometimes that'll disqualify you right on the bat. That first job I had when I tried to get back to the United States, I came over once, went for an interview, and the person that interviewed me told me I wasn't qualified. But she said, if you can go away, because I told her clearly what skills I didn't have. She said, if you can go away and gain the skills that we need and then come back and see me again, then we'll talk. And that's what I did. I went back to Japan and I signed up for courses. I took those courses online. They were proctored courses with a proctored exam at the end, and I was able to get the certification that she wanted. And sorry, the little battery thing came up. And then a year later, I flew back to America, and I for that in a second interview with that same woman, and she hired me. So that's how I wound up coming back to America. So I hope that helps with the person, whoever it was, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, whoever it was that asked me for that question. And I wish you all the best luck on the interview that you're going for. Just keep in mind, know the company, know the position and the people that you might be working with, or learn as much as you can about that, and try to understand the business problem that's keeping people up at night, that you want to convince them that you are the right person to help solve that problem. And I think you'll have a pretty good chance of getting the job. Okay, well, my little doggies are ready to go. we had enough of this? Let's just check for comments real quick. Rudy's not much of a reader. Sleepy Joe and Camilla Toe. Howdy, Kurt. Hi, Bill. That's it. 2 comments. All right, well then I'm going to wish everybody well and carry on with my dog walk. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.